Okay, so we need to find the max or the min. Okay, it's a rocket modeled, sent away like this. Okay, this is the path of the rocket. The first thing we actually look for in factoring, if we're going to factor to solve this, is called the greatest common factor. Okay, in the greatest common factor, we pretty much look to the coefficients for the most part, and try to figure out what is the greatest common factor here. Can I take anything out?
No.
No, I can't. Okay. Now there is another type of factoring where we use an equation. Do you know that equation?
I think so.
Yeah, we could try using that equation. Do you know how it goes?
Well, you can like solve for t. You can take t out.
There's an equation that looks like this.
Oh, quadratic.
Yeah. We can use this to factor, but what's factoring going to find?
Find this x-intercept.
The x-intercepts, right? And then there's a bit of work from there, right? After we find the x-intercepts, we got to add them together, divide by 2, plug back in. We can do that to find the x-intercepts. Or there's a third thing we can do to find a max or a min, right? We can factor and go through the steps, but there is a quicker way. I'm going to move this to the side. And it's going from standard to factor form, which is called completing the square. Okay? And completing the square is a little more complex. We're going to try it in this one. Ht equal to negative 5t squared plus 22t. Now in completing the square, the first thing we do is we divide the first two terms, and in this case that's both terms, by our a value, which is negative 5. So we're going to divide both of these by negative 5. And what happens is that negative 5 comes to the outside of the brackets and it becomes our a term of our vertex form. We're then left with t squared, right? And I don't really want to write this the other way, so I'm going to write this as 22 negative 22 over 5. Okay, t. Now what we do from here is there's a little formula that goes along with this on the side. I don't know if you remember it. We would write it as we take the b term divided by 2 and square it. And in this case, this is our b term. So I'm going to put this in the fraction form. It's like 22 over 5. And that 2 actually becomes like it's multiplied by the bottom 5. Okay? So what's going to happen now? What's this fraction going to read?
22 over 10.
Yep. And then we got to square it. What's that going to become?
44 over 10.
No more. We're going to square it. So it's 22 times 22, 10 times 10. We know the bottom will be 100. 22 times 22 is going to be a little bigger.
484.
484. So this term we're going to add and subtract to the brackets. Okay? Negative 5 t squared minus 22 over 5t. And we're going to add 484 over 100 and subtract 484 over 100. Okay?
Wait, what's it called? There's a little trick. Is it square the sine first term, square the second, and I don't remember how it goes.
I don't know any acronyms for it. I just know the process. We'll think through it. From there, we actually only need the positive term, so we're going to take the negative term outside. But when we do that, we got to multiply by the a value. So we're going to multiply it by negative 5. So we're then going to get negative 5 t squared minus 22 t over 5 plus 484 over 100. And then 44 times 5, or times negative 5. We're going to have a positive. What's 484 times 5?
2,420.
2,420?
Yeah.
Over 100. Well, we can definitely reduce that to 242 over 10. Okay, and then we can probably reduce it even farther from there, but let's keep going. The goal here is we're making a perfect square trinomial. What that means is inside the brackets, I can factor this. And the fast way to factor it is I take the square root of the first and the last term. So I get -5. What's the square root of t squared?
T.
Yeah. Do you know what the square root of 484 over 100 is?
22 over 10.
Yeah, it's going to be the exact number we had the square before, right? So it's 22 over 10. And this negative sign comes down. Then it becomes squared. And on the outside, we're left with 442 over 10. Now, we're in fraction form, which maybe doesn't make sense for us. So I want you to put those in actually into decimals. So what's 22 divided by 10?
2.2.
2.2 squared. And well, what's this one going to be?
24.2.
That's right, 24.2. So now we're in vertex form, which means, without having to do all that extra work, there's my x value and
That's right.
there's my y value, right? So the vertex is at 2.2. Is it seconds in time? Yeah. The rocket hits its max at 24.2, what, maybe meters in the air? That's the vertex. So we would complete the square, which would be the fastest way. Not the only way, but it's the fastest way to find the vertex. Okay? Going through those steps there.